The heiress who never existed. In the fall of 2017, a young woman walked into a private members club in downtown Manhattan wearing designer clothes and an unshakable air of confidence. She tipped generously. She dropped names. She spoke of a multi-million-dollar trust fund waiting for her in Europe. Hotel staff called her a princess. Bankers called her a client worth courting. Her friends called her Anna Delvey. Her real name was Anna Sorokin, and nothing about the fortune she claimed to have was true. By the time anyone figured that out, she had already convinced some of New York's most exclusive institutions, hotels, banks, and members of the city's elite that she was exactly who she said she was. This is the story of how she did it, and how
it all came apart. Background. Anna Sorokin was born in Russia in 1991. When she was a teenager, her family moved to Germany, settling near Cologne. Her father worked as a truck driver before starting a business in heating and refrigeration. It was a stable, middle-class life, but not the kind of wealth Anna would later claim. In her early 20s, she moved to Paris to intern at the fashion magazine Purple, and later relocated to London before settling in New York City around 2013 and 2014. It was in New York that Anna began to reinvent herself. She adopted the surname Delvey, a variation of her mother's maiden name, and started presenting herself as a German heiress with access to a family trust fund worth as much as 60 million euros. She told people the money was tied up in Europe, difficult to access quickly, but very real. New York, a city built on the performance of wealth, believed her. Building the illusion. Anna didn't rent an apartment.
She lived out of hotels, first at the 11 Howard in Soho, later at other high-end properties across Manhattan. She dressed in designer labels, dined at the city's most talked-about restaurants, and surrounded herself with people in fashion, finance, and art. She told acquaintances she was developing something called the Anna Delvey Foundation, an exclusive members club and dynamic art space, modeled after clubs like Soho House, but positioned as more elite. She pitched it to real estate brokers, architects, and potential investors as a serious, fully funded venture. To make the vision credible, Anna needed money moving through real accounts. She opened lines with private banks, including City National Bank and Fortress Investment Group, seeking a loan of up to $22 million to secure a building on Park Avenue South for her foundation. She never got the loan, but by the time the bank said no, she had already used the appearance of pending financing to keep her lifestyle running, covering hotel bills, private jets, and expensive dinners with promises that a wire transfer was always just days away. The people around her. Part of what made Anna's scheme work wasn't just paperwork, it was people. She built real friendships, or what looked like them, with people who had genuine access to money and status. One of the clearest examples
came in 2017, when Anna invited a friend, Vanity Fair photo editor Rachel Williams, on a luxury trip to Morocco. The resort bill alone ran into the tens of thousands of dollars. Anna's cards were repeatedly declined. Williams ended up covering more than $62,000 on her own credit cards, believing she would be reimbursed once Anna's funds became available. She never was. This pattern repeated across the city. Hotels extended credit expecting payment that never fully arrived. Private jet companies flew her on trips billed to accounts that would later bounce. Small boutique loans and unpaid tabs accumulated, each one justified by the same story: a fortune in Europe, temporarily delayed. The unraveling.
By mid-2017, the excuses were running out. Hotels she had stayed at, including the W Hotel in Union Square and the Beekman Hotel, filed complaints after she left with unpaid bills totaling tens of thousands of dollars. Banks that had once entertained her loan applications began flagging inconsistencies in her financial documents. In October 2017, Anna was arrested in Los Angeles, where she had checked into a luxury wellness retreat under circumstances similar to her prior stays. Expensive accommodations, no clear way to pay. She was extradited back to New York to face charges. By the time prosecutors built their case, they had identified a pattern spanning roughly 2 years: forged financial statements, unpaid hotel bills, fraudulent bank applications, and money taken
from people who considered her a friend. The trial. Anna Sorokin's trial began in New York in early 2019, and it quickly became a citywide spectacle. She showed up to court each day in custom outfits, styled by a stylist connected to a television production already tracking her story. The image mattered to her, even from the defendant's chair. Prosecutors laid out a methodical case, multiple counts of grand larceny and theft of services, tied to specific victims, banks, hotels, and individuals like Rachel Williams, who testified about the financial and emotional toll of trusting her. Anna's defense didn't deny the deception outright. Instead, her attorney argued that she was chasing a legitimate business vision, that her methods were extreme, but rooted in ambition rather than pure criminal intent. Closer, they suggested, to the kind of financial risk-taking common among Wall Street founders and startup executives, just without the safety net of real capital. The jury wasn't fully persuaded either way. In May 2019, Anna was convicted on 8 of the 10 counts against her, including multiple charges of grand larceny and theft of services. She was acquitted on the most serious charge, attempted grand larceny tied to the $22 million bank loan she never received. She was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in state prison. After prison, Anna served time at Rikers Island and later at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, and was released on parole in February 2021 after serving roughly 2 years. Her freedom didn't last long. Because she had overstayed her visa years earlier, immigration authorities took her into custody almost immediately after her release, placing her in a detention facility while fighting deportation to Germany. She spent well over a year in immigration detention, contesting the case through her lawyers. In October 2022, she was released from ICE custody under strict conditions, required to remain under house arrest in a New York City apartment, wear an ankle monitor, and limit her public appearances, all while her immigration case remained unresolved. Even under those restrictions, Anna became a public figure in an unexpected way. Her story was adapted into the Netflix series Inventing Anna in 2022, and she leaned into her notoriety, giving interviews, selling art, and appearing at fashion and media events, ankle monitor visible, fully aware of the contradiction. Closing. Anna Sorokin never robbed a bank. She never held a weapon or broke into a building. What she did was simpler, and in some ways more unsettling. She understood that in a city obsessed with the appearance of wealth, confidence could function as currency all its own. She convinced hotel managers, bankers, and friends that she belonged in rooms most people spend a lifetime trying to enter. And for a while, in the eyes of New York, she did. The money was never real. But for 2 years, almost everyone around her believed it was.